honor of nominating a good buddy, Robby. He goes by the name of Doink_life on IG. Go follow him.
Yes, sir.
And so I'll explain how we met. We met at Ember Valley.
Ember Valley, end of 2019, first beginning of 2020. COVID was just hitting everybody.
Shit was some wild times.
Yeah, crazy times back there. We were a little younger, little more wild, but yeah. I just decided to dive into the rec market. I've always been a cannabis user and lover since, I was 16, 17 years old. At the time, I was actually working as a tax preparer, like in the accounting world and stuff like that. Went through some stuff in my life at the time, was making some changes, and decided I wanted a career that's sort of more fulfilling, that actually was something that aligned with my purpose in life, that I felt something that gave me like I was doing something and feeling productive at the end of every day, but in a good way,
Especially, I feel like your personality traits, like this industry definitely aligns with like who you are.
Yeah, so. Accounting was not me, bro. It just wasn't it, dude.
Some people, they're like that though. They could flip the script when they need to.
Exactly.
But stay true. That's all it really is. Stay true to who you really are.
So yeah, and we worked together for what, 2.5, almost 3 years or something around there.
Until it's good. So you are a professional bud roller and bud tender?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, can you tell me how you got into that niche?
So into the professional rolling, I was still working with EV, and I got brought out as one of the managers to my first ever big event. It was Emerald Cup of 2021 or 2022, I believe. I think it was 2022. Got brought out to that event, and I seen that this was something people were getting hired for, and I was sort of just mind blown and oh wow, I've always had bars. I've always been
bars.
Might
as well fucking say what's up with this,
Yep, exactly. And so to be honest, there was probably a couple dudes at that event that I annoyed the fuck out of, dude, because I was just sitting next to them for 3 days straight, so how'd you get into it? Asking them these kind of questions. So, what's that glue you're using? Those are cool blunt wraps, never seen those type things, and just drilling. And I went home, and it pretty much really started with between me and Ghost of Ember Valley on Instagram. Me and him just started sort of having roll-offs at work. At the end of the day, we'd finish our 8-9 hour day over there at Ember Valley, and we'd just see who could roll the biggest, fattest bar,
the cleanest.
And so we started practicing together, and I sort of just found oh wow, it clicked for me real fast. First thing, Bruno Rolls. A lot of people know him in the rolling community. He invited me out to do a job for him. I actually got told yo, you're not up to par, man. You need to fix this, and this. Little things like creakles in my paper. They were coning out too much because they want them straight. They want that tip nice and snug where it doesn't slide out. Went home, kept on doing that, then entered in some competitions about 8 months down the road, and got some really big wins with Roll Olympics, best joint and best blunt on one competition, and then best hash hole on another. And after that, I just started booking jobs, and it sort of became a thing from there, doing events, rolling a personal. One of my last projects was with Black Market Vikings.
Nice.
So I'm gonna hook you up with this when we head out the door. So these are the kind of things that we're doing. It's just sort of went from there, and I plateaued for a second, but we're getting back out here and starting to book some new stuff. We do grand openings of businesses. Temple Tattoo, I did their grand opening.
Oh, what? That's tight.
I'm in the talks with Thank You Tattoo right now, doing a 420 event with them. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. Weddings, anniversaries, birthday parties.
I bet you'll be busy.
I'm free for it all, man. Hit me up.
I bet you're gonna be busy next month for April.
Yeah. So Yep, exactly.
So that's tight. Well, I'm super stoked to hear that you got into that. That's I felt just watching from the sidelines, through a screen. I stay up with everybody's shit, what people are doing and stuff. And I seen you do that. I was like, oh, that's tight.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. it was just one of those things that I seen, and I sort of was like, hey, this is an outlet that I can use to sort of, you know.
Took advantage of that opportunity. You actually like were able to make something of that. That's cool, dude.
And yeah, at the time I was still involved in some parts of like the black market that wasn't where I probably should be spending my time at. And once I got my first couple big jobs off of rolling, it clicked in my head, like, the whole point of starting to hustle when you're younger is not to keep on hustling forever, man. It's a means to an end. You know what I mean? You want to try to get out of that lifestyle. And so, yeah, this was finally one of the things in my adult life that showed me, like, hey, like, why are we still involved with these people in this scene and this just risky stuff?
Risking it for that biscuit that probably is dry as shit.
Dead ass.
Tastes good.
Yep, no butter on it.
You know? So.
Yeah, man. You know, and you've seen it. We've both lost some mutual friends to that game. We've both had mutual friends that are locked up because of that.
Yeah.
A lot of my family's in that scene. So yeah, it didn't make sense, man, to keep doing that, and this was a real mean way for me to get out of that, and it's a blessing for sure.
Yeah, it's a blessing to not get caught up and to have mature out of that volatile lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Man.
Yeah, you can still get in big trouble in that black market scene. So I'm glad that you're able to find an avenue to where you could make a career, and not only just a career, like a hobby.
Yeah.
You know, and you can perfect your craft, because it is a skill. You know, fuck, dude, I haven't rolled a joint or a blunt in probably, I don't know, years.
It's been a good minute,
Yeah, dude, it has been. But
we'll have to get you back on the tray soon, man.
Shit, I ain't scared.
Right? There we go.
I used to be.
You heard it here first.
I used to be a big old stoner, but now I'm straight arrow now, you know, working out just
so not smoking at all, huh?
Yeah, not smoking at all. Ooh. Not smoking at all. Not drinking at all, actually, but in the Philippines last month, I was going ham.
Yeah, you're traveling, man.
I was on vacation. Out of the country, you know.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count when you're out of the country, dude. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So that, man. That's what's up. I'm proud of you. How long you think you've been on that?
Yeah, I'd be so before I drank, that was at 7-8 months.
Nice.
And then before that, it was another 7-8 months. So I'd probably go 7-8 months, and then I'll relapse, as you'd call it.
Yeah. You have a slip up. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Get knocked off the tracks, but then, hop right back on like it ain't nothing. So that's what I'm on right now.
That's what's up, man. Heck yeah.
All right, so to get a little back on track, what are your thoughts about this industry, as in the educational purposes and you being an advocate?
So yeah, I really think that people should be getting educated before they start trying cannabis for their first time. We live in the century and the decade where information is literally at your fingertips at all times. You got questions about cannabis, Google it, come into your local dispensary and actually ask about, what you're trying to get out of your cannabis experience. If you come in and you're just looking for the highest THC, that's totally cool. We can point you in that direction every time. Mm-hmm. But there's other things in this plant that are medicinal, that can help, curb you from opiate addiction, from alcoholism. I have plenty of patients that come into that dispensary every day that, they're looking for high milligram concentrates like RSO or hash tablets, because it's better than them taking all these opiates for their cancer pain or their, spina bifida or any of these kind of ailments they might be dealing with. There's CBG, CBC, there's all these different cannabinoids in there that people should be educating themselves about. And I think that that's also part of our job as a bud tender or just as a dispensary as a whole, that we're really the only information center for the public to come and get this firsthand, face-to-face, and have a conversation with a real person about it. So that's always something I'm very strong on, is the educational part. I love exploring the different cannabinoids. You're having problems sleeping, CBN. You're having issues with some muscle soreness, CBG. You're having some issues with maybe anxiety and some things going on in your brain that you're battling, CBC is there for you. So there's a lot of things that you can isolate in this cannabis to get the effects that you're either receiving from maybe Western medicine instead, and you can sort of get this in a different way, in a more natural way, in a way that you can actually control yourself instead of having some milligram prescription that you can only really know so much about.
Yeah. Sweet deal. I want to say thank you for educating me on that.
Yeah.
I was like, and I appreciate how you just said like educating the people for that, because some people go to the club and then that separates you from a good bud tender compared to a shitty bud tender that's just like trying to give you some bud without actually pointing you into a direction where it could be beneficial.
Yes.
Everybody's going through something that we don't know. And purposeful. Yeah, like guiding people into the right direction is like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's something really good. Like I said, you're trying to curb alcoholism, then cool. I will show you to that, hash covered high THC bud, because this will knock you out and make you forget that you wanted a drink, dude.
Get that indica, that high indica, put you in the couch.
You're not gonna want to go drink. You want to eat something, man.
It'd be a bottomless pit.
No, there's a lot of good stuff out there, and the way that the industry's going right now, I feel that we're starting to get more towards that educational point again, like it was back before. It was recreational, it was only medicinal, and you had to have that prop on you, and you had to have that medical recommendation from a doctor. Those bud tenders really were educating people back then. They're in scrubs, they're grabbing stuff with tongs, they're doing their research, and you got these like real old school dreadhead hippies that were out here teaching you what the plant does though. And that sort of got lost over the past of the few years when you got these packagings coming with action figures in it, so you can like sell an extra bag.
Yeah, it's more like that. I feel like since it was like that, it was more of a marketing deal, instead of really getting back to the actual way of why you're taking it, why you're smoking it. And so with that being said, what are your thoughts about legal cannabis?
So there's, it's something that there's a good and an evil to almost anything in this world. There's going to be a pro and a con list. Yes, it is. It sucks that I'm seeing some cannabis become unaffordable to people that want to use this as an alternative to their medication. If you're trying to push a $75 eighth out the door, $75 eighth out the door, who are you really benefiting besides yourself when you're doing that? These companies...
Damn, dude.
Yeah. There's a couple of them out there. They're far and few between, but, there's a couple companies that are out there. I won't put anybody's name out under the bus right now. But there's some companies out there that do that. And don't get me wrong, that is top quality cannabis that is, high terpene. They're hunting out these phenos. They are doing these small batch orders that do mean a lot. But... really, who are you getting to consume this? You're not getting the everyday person that, cannabis is the only thing, even if it's not a medicinal thing, this is the only thing they look forward to after their 44-hour work week, and they're able to come and spend $30 of their tip money on an eighth, and they can't get this cool stuff because you just want to triple your profits up. So that's something I don't really agree with, and that's probably one of my biggest downfalls. Another downfall is some of these companies that are doing not totally, unhealthy, but it's just sketchy practices, spraying old dried up weed with distillate and covered it in THCA, and then these are snow caps. Like, man, come on, that's not. You're selling garbage covered in garbage and calling it candy.
Straight
and
up.
it's crazy.
So last year I was down in LA. We were doing construction. We were building out, facilities, and then the partners that we were partnering up with, I don't know if they thought we were just like some chumps that we didn't know anything, but dude, we're born and raised in Redding, California. We know the game, They're all showing us these like moon rocks, and I like broke into a bud, and I was like, dude, this is like last year's outdoor, just covered in shit. I was like,
exactly,
man.
Like,
whoever, and it's all how they like worded it. It was like, oh no, this is like whatever
dipped in oil
yeah.
with the THCA pressed from the original strain.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
You mean you blew some BHO through the shake that you got off of trimming that last year and covered it? Oh, yeah, single source.
Yeah.
And so that's one of my problems, and that's another problem that, you know, it's no secret that anybody that already follows me on Instagram, I'm not a fan of the local sessions. I don't like how they conduct business, and that's one of my big things against them, is that they sell these kind of products, and not only are they selling them, they know little about the source that they're grabbing it from.
Yeah, they're just trying to make that dollar.
Not make that dollar. And going back to, you know, some mutual friends that we had passed a few years ago, you know, I have a friend that's tatted on my leg that passed from a fentanyl when he thought he was getting something else.
Yeah.
And so that's not only something that, you know, I worry about as a father, because I have a 16-year-old son that I know damn well probably consumes cannabis.
Yeah.
I worry about that just as a friend, a father, somebody that cares about this community.
Just cares, you know, that right there hits home too.
Yeah.
Like life,
So,
you know, you want people to still be here.
So yeah, that's one side of the industry I don't like. Sorry, getting off topic again on you. So that's one side of the industry I don't like. You know, part of the industry I do love. I love that, you know, places outside of Shasta County, hopefully we'll get this kind of energy soon, but they got these events where it's really that's a real sesh, you know, when we used to all meet up when we were 19, 18 at a park, and everybody brings their piece, and we're all smoking and trying each other's stuff, and you're seeing friends that you might only see once a month or once every other month, but everybody drops what they're doing that day and comes and does this. So these are the events that I've seen in other towns, other cities and stuff like that, that it's a great community. It's awesome. I love meeting these people. You know, I got friends from Spain and Germany now that I would have never met if it wasn't for cannabis, that, you know, we talk and they're trying to get me to come snowboard in Germany and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't smoke no more, but I snowboard.
Yeah, hey, we got a sober driver the whole time we're out there.
Yeah, straight up.
So yeah, no, man, totally. So it's like that's that community part that is coming back from cannabis because of this legal side, and that we're able to legally go out to and do these things, and we don't have to worry about like, oh, here's 12 pulling up, everybody run and drop your bongs, and you know what I mean? Like, that's another awesome part of it. The access to the medicine is another awesome part. Like I said, I see cancer patients coming in, and the only way that they can ease their pain from the chemo treatment they got that other day is by taking 1,000 milligrams of THC and zoning out in front of Judge Judy. And like, that's fire, bro. Yeah, that's fire. And they would rather do that instead of take these Oxy 30s or these Percocets or these crazy drugs that it's already been known that these are highly addictive and cause issues in your community. And so it's, you know, the medicinal part of it, the community part of it, I love that I'm still seeing that, and it's being more readily available to people, and that it's just becoming more of a norm. You know, even when it did go rec, you would still have your soccer mom sticking her nose up at the neighbor that bought pot, even though he's buying it legally. Now that demographic's going away, I get soccer moms in here. I get, you know, city workers in the shop doing their thing, and it's the same thing. They would rather go enjoy this eighth or enjoy these gummies instead of a bottle of wine. Yeah. And I love hearing that. Like, if you can get an alternative to alcohol, like we were talking earlier, we all a drink here and there, you know, if that's your choice, is good. I enjoy a drink every once in a while, but it is poison. There's no doubt about that. Look at any health research, anything on the market, you are literally poisoning your body when you drink liquor.
Consuming poison,
Yeah, and it's sad. You know, it's almost like that's a test that they do on rats in a science lab. It's like putting them in a maze and putting small doses of poison on a piece of cheese, and they keep going and eating it. And they're like, look at these idiot rats. No, they're dying, but they keep eating the cheese. So yeah, it's to see somebody finally venturing away from that lifestyle is always something awesome to see. So yeah, those are my pros and cons on the industry, just on a summary of a sort of a personal level.
Most definitely. That's so sick. And okay, kind of wrap this up here a little bit. Where do you see yourself in the future with this industry?
So I would really like to see consumption lounges become way more of a normal thing. Right now, you only got these in cities like Sacramento, San Francisco, and LA.
Yeah.
Like,
and is it can I ask you, why is it only there? Is it just because of the population or
city ordinance?
Okay.
You know, like when I was speaking at City Hall the other day on them trying to raise tax, when that comes back up, everybody vote no on that. Keep our cannabis affordable for the people that need it. So when I was there speaking at City Hall the other day, you could tell that there was a certain City Hall member that every time that I brought that up during my speech, there was almost an eye roll energy coming from them.
Yeah.
As if like that will never happen in our city. So that's why a lot of these don't happen, is it's the city council, the city ordinance, you know. To be honest, the reason that Redding doesn't have a lot of some things that people would like to see here is because our city wants to try to keep this a small town vibe, which I totally get.
I feel like, honestly, in retrospect, it would keep it more small town vibe if we had a opportunity, a place to be able to do things like that. You know? Like, yeah, people aren't just gonna be like, yo, let's fucking just go to Redding to smoke out.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
You know, like,
and you know what will happen is they'll start seeing other cities do it, see the revenue that it creates from it. This is still fairly new. I think San Francisco had their first one a couple years ago. SAC just started doing theirs in June.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was a whole like city council thing too that people went up and talked about. So that's I want to see that happening. And my future in cannabis would be owning and operating one of these consumption lounges. That would be a true dream for me. That would, to be honest, that would probably be the dream come true, and I can do that till I'm in my 60s and go on a yacht afterwards or something. You know what I mean? So that would be cool with me. But I'm gonna get a lot more into the advocate part of it. Speaking out at City Hall meetings, getting petition signs. You know, if I get 5,000 people in this town to say that they want a consumption lounge, that, you know, legalization without consumption rights isn't legalization. You're still criminalizing cannabis in a way, because the only way I can consume this is on my couch in my house right now, which is, it's still criminal. You know, I can't walk down. They have beer and wine festivals right across the street from where we're sitting right now all the time. And don't get me wrong, those are awesome, dude. The food's dank, it's a good time. We see people that we don't know. We all know how alcohol churns out with 2,500 people roaming around downtown. There's some fights, there's some DUIs, there's
drama.
Don't none of that come from the cannabis events, man.
No.
We usually get Airbnbs around the corner and walk our asses to them. You know what I mean?
And
so
order.
DoorDash is heavy during these events, man. Yeah, no, seriously. So these are the things that I see myself doing in the future, and then of course always doing rolling. I got some stuff coming up in 420 in September. I'll be down there in Santa Rosa for Hall of Flowers. And you know, anything else I get booked up in between there. So you make sure you get a follow at doink_life, and that's DOINK_life right there. Yeah, got the shirt too. So yeah, we'll talk about this shirt real quick. So yeah, Doink Life, California living. It was one of my drops. Little shout out to Mac Dre in the Bay Area with that one. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do a little jersey swap after this. So yeah, man, really appreciate you having me on. It was a pleasure, brother. Dude, of course. We've been doing this together for a minute. It was only right that we start talking about our stuff together. So yeah, it's awesome. And yeah, another thing is, like we were saying when I was in the car on my way over here, talking to you, that it's good for people, creators like us that are in this community, start working together. Just like we were saying, Redding's, you know, a bigger town, but it's still not the hugest community. Everybody knows everybody.
It's a little city.
And so if we should be
little city.
Yeah, exactly, man. And we should be working together to try to get these voices heard and get your neighbor's message out there. So yeah, if you got a platform and you got something that you can share with somebody, or you can give somebody an opportunity, it's always awesome to do that. So I'm really glad you did that for me, Nick. Thank you, man.
No problem. Thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah,
taking
awesome,
the time to do that.
For sure, brother.
All right.
All right, signing off. That's what's up.